What occurs if my account equity falls below the minimum required amount? Now, the only trading restriction we apply regarding minimum equity is to your allocation account. So that's the one that you've really got to focus on. If you exceed the maximum allowable loss in the allocation account, and that's 10%, your account gets moved into quarantine. During quarantine, all your trades are closed, you're basically stopped out, and you're placed into a timeout. And this just, you've not had a good time in this particular market. Some timeout is always a good thing for traders. Believe me, I had a few in my years at the hedge fund, but no further funding allocations will be made, and use of the allocation account will be paused until the quarantine has been completed. That quarantine period is 2 weeks, and that's from the date of your account is first placed into quarantine. And provided the account meets the qualifying criteria, then you will be ready to enter the program 2 weeks after, in which you have to click a button to activate the re-entering the program. Now, at the first quarantine, you'll be invited back to the previous stage 2 weeks from the date the account was placed into quarantine, provided the qualifying criteria has been met. If you go into a second quarantine, again, you'll be invited back to the previous stage 2 weeks from the date the account was first placed into quarantine, again, provided qualifying criteria has been met. In the third quarantine, you'll be invited to rejoin the program at seed stage, providing the qualifying criteria has been met. Those of you that have reached the pro stages, once you reach the pro 500 stage, should you drop to quarantine, you'll be invited to return to the pro stage, provided it's not your third entry into quarantine. Similarly, once you reach the Pro M stage, should you drop to quarantine, you'll be invited to return to the Pro 500 stage, again, provided this is not your third drop into quarantine. Now, the thing to remember is that everybody goes through a tough time in trading. Do not get disheartened if your account enters a quarantine. Once you come out of it 2 weeks later, your funds in your allocation account are set back to the original level. So you don't have any negative performance there, okay? You start again, you've had 2 weeks to regroup, and it's happened to all of us. Maybe the market's gone through a tough time, maybe volatility is higher than normal, but that 2 week period just allows you to take time out, regroup, and then start again with the brand new funds in your allocation account, provided you've got the minimum equity required in your Axie Select account and the minimum balance of $500 or more, depending on which stage you're at.